Okay everyone, I'm back. All right, so now that I got the mud flap bracket straight as best I can, as you see here, let me go just in case that light's on. As you see here, what'll happen is that's away from the wheel, the mud flap will be there, so I'm gonna size up the mud flap and see if I need to cut any of it off. So this is the mud flap here. So let me open up these holes. Whoops, damn, I almost hit myself with the blade. That wouldn't have been good. Let me just do it this way. That's because I'm not all the way fully. I'm doing it with the ridge. So, let's see here. Where's it at? That's probably not the one I did. Where is it? Oh, that is the one I did. Alright, so somewhere in here there's a hole. There it is. These are a pain in the ass. I wish they were just pre-holed. I try to drill them out sometimes, but they still don't work very good doing it. It's a thick mud flap. So we're gonna cut these holes out. And I got some new bolts that I'm going to be using. And I'm not putting those stupid torque heads back in that damn thing. Struggling with that. Man, this thing is really tough. Usually I know I'm getting down there. Damn. Sometimes I can be a little dangerous with the wow, why is that? What's wrong with this mud flap? All right, let's do this real fast. Maybe I can. Usually I can just cut the little flap off, and it's done. For some reason, I don't know if this has been sitting out in the weather too much or what. Man, it's really hard. All right, there we go. Let's do this one. I use a 1/2-inch drill so that way you can actually get the bolt through, because if you just use a 3/8 drill bit for this, it just closes up and it makes it that much harder. All right. I smell burning rubber. Let's do this one. All right, that way it saves me the trouble of. All right, so we're gonna get a couple bolts here, and we'll determine if I need to cut the bottom of this mud flap at all. If so, I'm gonna change out my blade. My blade might be dull. All right, let's get over here. See what it looks like. Hope I can put this in here without no trouble. Oh yeah. So what we're gonna do is see how long this mud flap is. I might have to. I'm just gonna have to stretch that out a little bit because it's bent. All right. So I don't know if y'all. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it. All right. So that's what the mud flap looks like. It's a little close to the ground, so I'll probably just cut off just a little bit, maybe a 1/2 inch, so that way it's not so close to the ground, but then it'll still cover the tire. Now the company that owns the trailer, they want to, you know, when he gets it back, we'll take it to the shop, see if they want to actually take this whole bracket off and try to re-straighten that better, because doing it out here is not going to work. Me straightening it out to where it's back to straighter than it was, it'll be all right. So if they want to spend the time taking out that bracket, the whole bracket off, and trying to straighten it out, they can. So I really don't need this. This came with this. This is going to be a pain in the butt. I really don't need washers for this because it's metal. The only time you use washers on a mud flat, so you don't pull the nut through or whatever, is when there's nothing there. So I think, and I'm gonna put these in backwards. So let's cut the mud flap shorter, and then we'll put it back up there, and we'll see how that works. See if it's okay or not. I don't cut straight lines. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay. All right, so I'm probably going to maybe cut right here. So best I can. Man, this mud flap must be petrified. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, bend it, and just lightly trace the line. Just like that. See that? Just lightly do it. Keep your fingers out the way. And then bend it over a little bit more. So you cut all the way through. Bam, just like that. And we just go down the line like that. Now I got that started. We just go down the line like that. Just, whoops. Like I said, I'm not very good at tracing either. Let's bend that over like that. And like I say, just lightly. Don't have to put a lot of pressure on there. Slowly go down the same line. You can even do it like this if you want, but it's a little bit hard because you really got to get it in there. Bam, bam, and come on. And a fresh blade is always good to have, always good to use, because these things can be tough to cut. Yeah, see, the line's gonna be a little crooked, but that's all right. It's not raining, that's just me sweating. Okay, come on, there we go. Now it's all cut. Now, like I said, it's not, I understand it's not a straight line, but you know, it's not here to pass for perfection or anything, all right? It's there to serve a purpose for the trailer. Keep the rocks from flying up to y'all's windshields, especially the four-wheelers that like to tailgate like they're actually being pulled by the trailer. So have to protect them from their windshields. If you don't, then they start calling in. If they weren't following so close, their windshields wouldn't be getting cracked. But I know I used to, even with my service truck, you know, you got four-wheelers coming up behind you, and he's so close to me that it looked like I'm towing him. So, not a good thing. All right, so let's get this. I might need a pair of vice grips for that because it's bent. I'm gonna have to mold it. So I don't need no washers, which is a good thing because of the metal plates here. Put that there. And let's get this thing going. So what I like to do, I like to start with the first one. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Probably should start with the inner. I'm gonna start with the inner one. Because I can actually bend it once I get the nut on there. Because this will be the hardest because it's being bent. And I don't want to straighten it out too much because then I'm gonna have a problem. I'm gonna have to bend it anyway somehow. I bet you I didn't get it. But I did, right there. All right. Okay, so we got that one on there. So we're gonna go to the next. I'm using my other light. That way you're just not dependent on seeing what I'm seeing with my headlight. I can't, like I said, I can't use the head tripod because I use a headlight, and they both will not gonna fit up there. So, all right, let's get this on there. I don't want to bend this yet. It's just gonna pop out this. There we go. Yeah. All right, see, that's the reason why I wanted to start with that one first. I'd be trying to wrestle with it, trying to get it through the hole and all that stuff. All right. Through there, I'm gonna have to stretch this out a little bit. There we go. No shit. There we go. Now I can tighten these three down, and that'll help me get this last one on, but it's thin metal. As you see, I'm holding it with my thumb, so it's not like real tight. So, but you want to keep it loose until you get all these in the hole. Let's see, I'm gonna have to stretch this one too. I guess I'm gonna have to. There's the hole. Or am I too far? I think I'm too far. Oops. Might have to take that little other one off till I get this one on. Can't see with the plate in there. No. All right, there's the hole right there. So, get in there. Come on. Man, that one's hard. All right, let me get my impact. So that's plenty high enough. Get my impact and my 9/16. There's my impact, 9/16 socket I'll need. Need a battery. Okay, and my 9/16 wrench. What I'm gonna do is, show something on, yeah. I'm gonna just drill this in there like that. Just like that, bam. Okay. And then, that's gonna be a problem. All right, we'll need a screwdriver. I'm gonna have to try to force that over some, get to that last hole. That's the reason why I want to crank them all the way down. Take my small pry bar just in case. Like this is a Snap-on. This used to be my favorite, but I busted up turning flywheels to free stuck starter drives on trucks. But it still works. That's all that matters. Alright, so get that under there. Trying to line this up. Come on. Get in here. Yep, there we go. Got it. Sometimes you gotta negotiate with it. Just don't let it go, or else you have to go through all that shit again. I mean, that stuff again. Whoops. I need my other hand. Come on. No. Don't you dare. Alright. I can't use this hand to be putting these nuts on. Okay, so as you see, plenty high enough. It's almost the same height as that one. So that'll work, so it's not too close to the ground. You don't want them too close to the ground. Especially if they're parking where you got some high curbs at warehouses. If you got them real low to the ground, they'll push in under the tire and then actually pull this down. And pulling it down might will help for this one. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and crank these down, and that's gonna be it for cutting and installing a new mud flap. There we go. And then the metal's been pre-molded to this wavy one. So there you go. Nice and tight, new bolts and everything. Make sure they're all tight. These are lock nuts. The ones with the torque heads bolt, they put lock thread on them. So they were just regular nuts, could have spun off, but they put lock thread on them. Grant, they didn't come off because thread lock is not supposed to back off, or the nut. So, but it can happen. But I like using lock nuts instead, much better. If I didn't have lock nuts, then I put a lock washer on it with a regular nut and crank them on down. So there you go. See how much gap is around the mud flap bracket. See, it's not perfectly straight, but it's about as straight as I'm gonna get it on my end. Mud flap bracket's not loose, so you don't want to press your luck on it, because I'm pretty sure if I keep messing with it, I could break off the bolts on there, and then that's just much more work. But you see, you got the gap. This is not tilted, so it'll rub it. And like I said, if the shop wants to pursue it and take that whole thing off and replace the whole mud flap bracket, or try to straighten this thing out, they can go ahead and do that, because it'll be a lot easier for them to do it there than out here. So they just wanted it straightened out to keep away from the wheel. And I think they were unaware about the mud flap being messed up because of the tires. But that's what happens when a tire blows out. Sometimes they can mess up the tire. When the tire blows, it can mess up, catch the actual mud flap bracket and take it with it. So this happened to have been on top of the tire, like this. This was on top of the tire, so when that tire blew, it bent that mud flap up, twisted it up, had that on there. So by the time the driver was able to stop or whatever, that's what it looks like. So just replace it with a new one. That's all I had to do. Okay, so that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one.